So you're starting to learn French. Awesome. But you've probably already hit that first kind of weird hurdle. French nouns. Why do they have genders? Does it really matter? Well, don't worry. Today we're going to crack that code and make it all click. You know, it's the question literally every single learner asks. Why on earth is a table, an inanimate object, considered feminine? It feels so random at first, but trust me, it's a core part of how the language works. Let's unravel that mystery together.
Because that's really all it is. It's not some impossible barrier, it's just a code. And once you learn a couple of key patterns and tricks, you'll be cracking it with confidence.
All right, first up, the gender puzzle. The best way to think about this is that every single noun in French has a secret identity. And no, it has nothing to do with what the thing actually is. It's all about the rules of the language. So what is grammatical gender? Honestly, it's just a way of sorting words. Imagine two big boxes. Every noun, every person, place, or thing gets tossed into either the masculine box or the feminine box. That's it. But that one little rule changes how the rest of the sentence works. Let's look at a couple of examples. Un chapeau, a hat, is masculine. Over on the other side, une maison, a house, is feminine. See those little words in front? A versus une? That right there is your number one clue to figuring out a noun's secret identity. And the good news is, you're not totally flying blind. There are patterns you can look for. Words that end in age are usually masculine. Words that end in tation are almost always feminine. But, and this is a big but, there are always exceptions. So think of these as helpful hints, not unbreakable laws. Okay, deep breath. If you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, please make it this. Don't just learn the word maison for house. You need to learn une maison. Burning the noun and its article together into your brain is the absolute number one non-negotiable key to mastering this. So let's zoom in on those little helpers we were just talking about, the articles. In English, we're talking about words like a, an, and the. In French, these little words are your best friends for spotting a noun's gender. They do all the heavy lifting for you. And just like in English, there are two main types. You've got your definite articles, like the, which point to a specific thing. And then you have indefinite articles, like a or an, which just refer to any old one. Simple enough, right? Now, this chart right here, this is your foundation, your ultimate cheat sheet. For the, you're going to use le for masculine nouns and la for feminine ones. For a or an, it's un for masculine and une for feminine. And when things get plural, good news. Les and des cover both genders. Easy. Okay, here's a quick insider tip that'll instantly make you sound more natural. If a noun starts with a vowel sound like o for water, both le and la actually shrink down to just an L with an apostrophe. It becomes lo. It just helps the language flow much more smoothly. Okay, so you've got gender, you've got articles, you're doing great. The next logical step is learning how to make these nouns plural, going from one to many. And I've got more good news for you. The most common rule is super easy. Just like in English, you usually just tack an S onto the end of the word. So le chat, the cat, becomes les chats, the cats. See? Simple. However, and yeah, you knew this was coming, you gotta watch out for the irregulars. Not every single noun in French is gonna follow that nice, simple S rule. So let's take a look at a classic example. The word for one animal is un animal. Notice how that word ends in al. Well, when you make it plural, that al ending completely transforms into O's. So un animal becomes des animaux. Now, don't worry about memorizing all of these irregulars right now. Just know they're out there. You'll pick them up as you go. All right, enough with the theory. Theory is great, but practice is where it all really starts to sink in. So let's get you set up with a little French starter kit of essential nouns so you can put these rules into action. We'll start with family. This is a nice, easy one because the grammatical gender actually matches the real gender. So we have le père, the father, and le frère, the brother, and then la mère, the mother, and la sœur, the sister. See, that makes sense. Okay, how about some food? Here we've got some masculine nouns like le pain, the bread, and le fromage, the cheese. Then a feminine one, la pomme, the apple, and look at the bottom there, l'eau. See, that's our special vowel rule in action for the water. And finally, let's do a few common places. Le parc is masculine.
La bibliothèque is feminine. And again, you can see that L apostrophe being used for words that start with a vowel sound, like l'école, the school, and l'hôpital, the hospital. You're already starting to spot these patterns, aren't you? We're going to wrap up our practice by coming full circle, right back to our golden rule, because I cannot stress this enough. What is it? That's right. Always learn the noun with its article. It is the one habit that will absolutely guarantee your success. So there you have it. That's your crash course in French nouns. These aren't just a bunch of boring rules. They're the foundational tools you're going to use every single day as you continue on your French journey. And remember, learning a new language is a voyage, not a race. Yeah, there are going to be tricky parts, for sure. But if you just stay curious and keep practicing, everything we've talked about today is going to start to feel like second nature. I promise. You just cracked the first and honestly the most important code in the French language. You've got the tools now. You're ready to start building your vocabulary and your confidence. The real journey starts now. Bonne chance!